I've seen men leave 5-10 year relationships and turn around and marry a woman.
The reason men will leave long-term relationships for a new woman and move on like that is because of something called the 90-10 rule. Basically what it means is the woman he's with might have 90% of what he's looking for. And even though most people are lucky to have 90% in common with someone, he becomes so resentful of the 10% that she doesn't have that when a new woman comes along and embodies that 10%, he's so enthralled with the 10% that she does have that he starts to convince himself that it's 100% of what he wants. So he jumps ship like that, and down the line, he realizes that this woman only has 10% of what he's looking for, but it doesn't matter because he already left the 90% behind. Follow for more and good luck.
Yeah, these ladies just have no clue, do they? You see, men are leaving relationships and they're leaving marriage. Maybe it's because they're not interested in the women anymore. Okay, maybe women are not bringing to the table all that they think that they are. You know, these girls think, oh yeah, well, I'm 90% of what he wants. Maybe you're not the 90%. Okay, maybe men are leaving relationships, they're leaving society, they're leaving marriages because one, the risks are too damn high, and two, because what is the point of being in a relationship with someone who thinks that they're just the entire table when in actual fact they're providing nothing? But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be going through a couple of TikToks, a couple of stories if we have time. But before we crack into it, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord, link in the description if you haven't already. And just a quick announcement before we crack into it, gentlemen. YouTube has sent us a warning over here. They're not a particular fan of our channel. So what I've done, guys, is I've set us up a locals community, and the link for that will be in the description. It's totally free to go and join. So feel free to join over there, guys, just in case this channel gets deleted or whatever the hell. I don't know how long we'll be around for, guys. I don't know if we'll be around for a week. I don't know if we'll be around for 2-3 years. Who the hell knows? But for that reason, I've set up a locals account. Many of you guys also watch people like Better Bachelor, fantastic content creator. And he's also making a transition over there. We're not going to be leaving over there fully unless YouTube kind of yeets us off. But it's just a great place to, if anything happens, guys, you'll find it over there. And it'll just be a nice community that we're going to be building, guys. So feel free to come and join that. It's totally free to join. And the link for that will be below the video, like I said. But gentlemen, we're just going to jump straight back into this TikTok. We're kind of going to go over it together. And I encourage you to leave your opinions, your thoughts, your experiences as we crack into it. And then we'll have a look at some other stuff. But let's see what she's got to say once again.
I've seen men leave 5-10 year relationships and turn around and marry a.
Okay, this clip cuts off short. So what I'm going to look at this, right? And turn around and marry a woman that they've only known for 6 months. You see, ladies get real jealous about marriage and about commitment. Let me put it to you guys this way. So let's just say you've got a girlfriend, okay, and then she goes out on the town and she kisses a guy on the cheek, right, or whatever the case may be. That to you might be a very large transgression that she's just done. Okay, what you'll notice is that exact feeling that we have, you know, we hate it. Like if you're with a girl, guys, and she engages in any kind of physical contact with another dude, like it's an unpleasant feeling. It's disgusting, right? It really is. Girls have that exact same feeling when their man gives away resources to another girl. And you know, Myron made this point on the Fresh and Fit podcast, as he often does, it seems. But like, these ladies will be out here and they'll get so mad if you get, like, let's just say you two break up and then you get another girlfriend and you become more successful and you spend more money on her. Oh, nothing is more soul crushing to girls than that. There really isn't. Like, nothing is more soul crushing because you see, they want to be the one that gets the marriage. They want to be the one that gets the ring and the attention and the lifestyle. And when they don't get it, oh my goodness, it is some funny scenery.
The reason men will leave long-term relationships for a new woman and move on like that is because of something called the 90-10 rule.
Yeah, and notice how it couldn't just be because men aren't interested. It couldn't be because the risk of marriage is so damn high. It couldn't be because you're not the table that you thought you were. And it's somehow got to be the fault of some rule, and it's got to be the men. It's the man's fault.
Basically what it means is the woman he's with might have 90% of what he's looking for. And
yeah, you see, guys, notice the premise of what she's setting here, okay? So basically, she's setting that the default of a relationship is that the woman is providing 90% of what he wants, and the man should be grateful. Maybe the girl is not providing 90%. Let me just outline something real quick to you guys here. what'll happen is men are not, I've said this many times, men are not the selectors of relationships. We really aren't. That's just not the way it works, okay? Men will put up with crappy relationships just because they want a girlfriend. Right? You get all these guys going out here thinking that they're so lucky. Oh, I'm so lucky. And what guys will do is they'll lose self-respect and they'll put up with behavior that they have no business putting up with. Okay, so what ends up happening is a lot of times in relationships, guys, these women aren't providing 90%. They're providing something like 10%, like maintenance, to keep the guy around so that he doesn't leave, because oftentimes he's a source of income as well. Now, that's not always the case, obviously, guys, but to assume that a girl is just providing 90% of what a guy wants just right off the bat, that's quite delusional territory, in my opinion.
And even though most people are lucky to have 90% in common with someone, he becomes so resentful of the 10% that she doesn't have that when a new woman comes along and embodies that 10%, he's so enthralled with the 10% that she does have that he's...
Yeah, no, see, this is the girls that do this. Men don't do this stuff. Like, that's just, men do not do this, okay? Girls will get into long relationships and then, the edge, they'll kind of lose the butterflies. They won't feel as special it won't feel as good anymore to be there. And so what they'll do is they'll start looking outside of it. Like, we as men, we're not so in tuned with this, like, a validation and what we're getting out of the like, we as men, we're really simple creatures. It's not that hard to keep us happy in a relationship. It really isn't. It just blows my mind, man, how the ladies are out here complaining about the fact that they have difficulties in dating. And I've got nothing against this girl in particular. Like, I'm not saying that to send bad vibes away or anything like that. It's just like these girls want to make it out as though they're being oppressed in relationships, and relationships are so difficult. You as a woman, particularly as a younger woman, have so much power in a relationship that the average man will never understand. We just never will. So these videos, they just become really, I lose all empathy, man. I really do.
He starts to convince himself that it's 100% of what he wants. So he jumps ship like that, and down the line, he realizes that this woman only has 10% of what he's looking for, but it doesn't matter because he already left the 90% behind.
Yeah, and no, that's what the girls do. Okay, you'll see situations like this where girls will leave guys, and then guys will come across some money, and then the girls will be like, "Oh, please take me back, please, please." I had a supporter of the channel, guys. He sent me a message actually yesterday, and I saw your message. He goes, "Women typically ignore me until they figure out what my job is," and he was earning 100K plus a year, something like that, and he just finds it absolutely disgusting. Okay, because a lot of these girls will turn around and say, "Oh well, I want him now, because he has that 10% I'm looking for." Or I want him now because he looks good. Maybe he doesn't have money, but later down the track I'm going to need money, so I'm going to go after a different guy. You see, it's all about like what's in the moment. How do I feel in the moment? What do I need right now? But gentlemen, we're going to be jumping into a second TikTok here momentarily. So I'm just going to adjust the volume real quick.
I'm going to give you 6.
And we're going to jump into this one. And this is quite revealing actually, because she goes over some things that girls say to men that are just straight up lies. So let's have a look at this real quick. And I'll have to do some minor volume adjustment as we continue.
Things that girls say that's not true. First thing is that I didn't see this until now, bruh. We fucking saw it, bro. Like, we have our phone in our hands 24/7. How did we not see it? We're texting everybody else back but you. We saw it. And I don't know why we lie when we could just tell you, hey, I really don't feel like talking right now. But I don't know. We'd rather just lie. I don't know. It makes us feel good. I don't know. Second thing.
No. Yeah, you see, the reason why they lie, guys, is because if they tell you, hey, I don't want to talk to you, or I'm not interested in talking right now, they'll lose free attention and they'll lose free validation. You see, what girls want to do a lot of times is they want to say, okay, well, I lie to you because I want to either A, protect your feelings, or B, I don't want you to get mad. And while that may be true, like a fraction of that may be true, the fact of the matter is the real concern is losing the free attention and the free validation. Like, I don't think a lot of people truly understand just how much girls really live off of validation. If you remove validation from the average girl, she goes crazy, man. Like, you want to talk about Instagram for a second? These girls will spend ages, and I mean ages, taking hundreds of photos, editing the photos, doing all this crap to the photos to make themselves look good. And then if they don't get the validation that they wanted, Like there's huge problems, okay? Like it literally affects their mental health as a result if they don't get the validation that they want, and particularly from the guy that they like, okay? And I'll continue the video here in a second, but you'll get girls who will get into relationships or situationships. They'll be chasing this guy, okay? And if the guy, their whole emotional state will be predicated on whether or not that man validates them. And like you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, okay? But you'll get all these girls going, oh, well, I was in a relationship and I just sacrificed so much of my mental health, right? It's it's because they want the validation. So what they're doing is they're changing their actions to get the validation. And a lot of the times they're doing things that they shouldn't be, right? And they're never going to get the validation. Or if they do finally get the validation, then they get bored and they just go look for the next guy. It's a really vicious cycle. Let's continue.
Thing is, I'm working on myself. If you ever try to date a girl and she hit you with the I'm working on myself, just take your chain off and go lay down, bro. She don't want you. I'm gonna just tell you right now, she don't want you, bro. Cause right now she's at home eating some Rotel dip, watching Bad Girls Club. She ain't working on shit, bro. She just don't want a relationship. At least not with you anyways. Third thing.
Yeah, the really disgusting part about that line there of the I'm working on myself, I'm just gonna put it to you guys really bluntly, okay? Most girls do not work on themselves. I don't care if they say they go to therapy. I don't care if they say that they read books. Most girls' lives look something like this, okay? Okay, what'll happen is a lot of girls will go to something like university so that they can live off of the government, okay? And that's not necessarily true. You'll get other girls who are in jobs, I understand that. But the general theme is, I'm going to go into maintenance mode on my life, maybe work at Starbucks or something like that. I'm going to try and get the guy that I want, but I'm not going to be able to get him, so I spend a lot of my time crying. I hate myself. I have mental issues. As I continue to get older, I'm going to need to go out and source certain things from the doctors so that I feel okay with myself to continue to live. And then what happens is they'll get into a relationship when they're 30, 40, 50 with a guy that they can lock down for an extended period of time. They're not going to feel happy. They're not going to feel satisfied. So then you get the whole situation of, well, the relationship is not, we're drifting apart. We're growing apart. I don't feel about the same way I do about you anymore. Okay, and that's the general theme of relationships you see. Like most of these girls, man, on Instagram or social media and all that, most girls these days do not like themselves. They really don't. I don't care how many pictures she has on her Instagram with like these captions that make her feel as though she's a boss babe or whatever the hell. Guys, most people in general, I would say these days, have a very poor level of self-esteem. And that's really sad to see. Like, I would prefer if people had true self-esteem, but it's a difficult thing to cultivate. But yeah, and so far as what she said at the beginning, most girls do not work on themselves. Okay, most girls will, and I'll continue the video in a sec, guys, but most girls use the words, I'm working on myself, to justify the fact that they're now choosing a, for lack of a better word, beta guy to settle down with. Oh, I've been through all this terrible stuff, but you know what? I've worked on myself, and now I'm ready for a real man. Don't buy it, okay? It's just all lies, really.
Thing is felt cute might delete. A lot of girls put this caption for their pictures, and to be honest, you have to pay attention to that word might. That word might is going to tell you everything that you need to know. That basically means that if I don't get the amount of likes that I want, then I'm going to delete it. But if I get 100 likes and more, then it's going to stay up until somebody can tell me how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. To be honest, that's really what that should mean for real. Fourth thing.
Yeah, that's true for the most part. But something else I would like to add to that is when girls put up photos of themselves, what they're usually doing is, yes, they're fishing for like a default amount of validation so that they can feel okay with themselves. But the other reason why they're doing it is usually it's because of trying to get the attention of some guy in particular. So it's not always necessarily to get 100 likes or whatever the case may be, although that is a huge goal of them when they do it. But a lot of times what they're doing is they're putting the photos out there as bait to see if the Chad will respond to them. To see if the guy that they're really interested in will respond. See, you think that by liking the photo and leaving some little hard eyes that she's going to be paying you some attention, she's going to think, oh, he's interested in me. No, guys. I'll say this. I do not like or comment on these girls' photos on Instagram at all. I really don't. Okay, excuse me. Goodness me. And the reason for that, guys, is like, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to turn around and go, oh, well, he seems like a great guy. He's fantastic. No, you're just free validation, man. And that's really sad for me to have to say, guys, but, you know, you can't just be doing the whole hard eyes, liking their photos. They're going to think you're pathetic a lot of the time. Okay, and like I said, the reason why girls will put up photos a lot of the time is to try and bait likes or bait attention from the guy that they're truly interested in. Let's continue.
Yes, I was just playing. 9 times out of 10, we don't just be playing. If we told you that your breath smell like koala ankles and we see that you get mad, then we're going to hit you with the I was just playing, you know, so you can get back in a better mood. Because we don't want to make you mad. We just really want you to fix the problem. 5th thing is,
that's actually something that I think I never really hear that in my country. I'm getting the feeling that that's something that American women typically do more, but I don't think I've ever really heard that sentence at all about the just joking. But what I will say is that seems to tie into you know, SHIT tests, where girls will just say something to try and upset you, and then if they figure out that they can upset you, well, of course they're not going to be as interested anymore. What girls will do is they'll kind of prod you and poke at you and see if they can get you to emotionally react. And then if you emotionally react, well, then they lose interest in you. And that's typically how that goes. But that phrase in particular, I don't really hear that around here, to be honest. Like, I think that's we don't really use the word playing around here in conversation. That's kind of strange. Let's continue.
my menstrual is on. To be honest, this can mean a lot of things. Either it's on for real, or you got a big ass, wet ass booger in your nose and it completely turned her off. So she immediately hit you with the my cycle on so you can leave her alone. Or she's testing you. Because to be honest, some girls be like, my menstrual is on, just to see if you get mad. If you get mad, then we know that that's all you really wanted from us. But if you're understanding, we'll hit you with the just kidding, and then you'll get some action. 6
that's mostly true there. Okay, and this is not something we're going to spend a lot of time on just because of YouTube here. But girls will say that, and that is true. They'll say it to see how you react, whether or not you'll get frustrated and stuff like that. But the little lie in there, if you guys caught it, was the fact that she said, you know, we're going to say that to see if that's the only thing that you want. Of course, in most situations where that happens, of course it's all the guy wants. You think he wants a relationship with you? You see, girls will do that. That sentence that she said, they'll do that at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday after being called over for the first time to Chad's house. That's when they're going to use that line. They know that that's all the guy wants. But they have to be able to lie to themselves and say, oh, well, maybe he wants more, so I don't have to feel so terrible about myself and my decisions. Because deep down, they know that they're making a terrible decision. But what they have to feel is like, they have to feel like it's your fault as the guy in order for the action to happen. And this is something I've covered in many videos, so we're going to be skipping along in a second. But, you know, if girls want to have fun with you guys, they want to feel like it's a complete accident and that they didn't drive the situation. Like, you as the man, you always have to be taking the fault for that kind of stuff. Oh, well, one thing led to another, and then it was just me and him, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It was never intended from the start. And girls will pull all sorts of crap to pretend as though it wasn't actually intended. But you and her both know what the hell is happening, right? But interesting little lie that has to kind of be put into all of these. Very funny.
is I heard. 10 times out of 10, we didn't hear shit. We actually thought of it ourselves, and we're trying to see if we're right. Instead of coming to you like a normal person and just asking you the simple question, we rather say that we heard something from somebody and see what you say. Keep in mind that not all girls are like this. To them,
yeah, that's just a huge cap, as they say on the end of that. But gentlemen, yeah, that's going to be that for this particular TikTok. We're going to jump into a couple of stories to kind of wrap up the video here, but it's always interesting to see how the ladies perceive their own actions. You know, I've got nothing against the girls in this video, but the reason why, part of the reason why these channels like mine and you know what we've got going on over here kind of are growing in popularity, guys, is because most men are just confused and tired and just totally done with dating and marriage and all of that crap, because you'll notice what women say and what they do are two entirely different things. So we got a whole wave of men going through all this crap, not knowing what the hell is actually happening. And you know, it's not because, and here's the thing before we jump into the article, it's not because the men are stupid. I don't like that argument at all. I don't think men are inherently stupid. I think that men are just by default given the wrong information, and we're told to believe things that we have no business believing in. Because guys, if we believe what society tells us by default, if we believe what the girls tell us by default, you're in a disadvantage, and it's going to cost you, and they get the gain. And you might think to yourself, oh, well, Taylor, what are they gaining? Let me go over some things that they're gaining real quick. Your assets, your children, your validation, your attention, your time, your resources. You see where I'm going with this, guys? You see, men are the ones that lose out on all this. And I don't know about you, but I don't think that's particularly fair. Okay, and I'm not saying that in order to make a pity party over here, guys. It's just like, it's just sad to watch, okay? But we're going to crack into this story here, and the title of which is, Did I Screw Everything Up? And we're just going to jump right in. Me and my girlfriend broke up recently, about a week after she called me to tell me she misses me. I told her I also missed her and asked if I could see her. I went over to her house the next night, but she made a disrespectful comment, so I got up and told her I was leaving. Another week passes by, and she calls me again to say that she misses me. We agreed to see each other the next day. I spend the next 2 nights at her place. The second night I stayed over, she asked me if staying there was emotionally troubling for me, and I just brushed it off because I knew it was, but I missed her a lot. That Saturday, she was supposed to come to my house after work. 10:30 rolled around, and I asked if she was coming, to which she replied, no, I'm having a drink with an old friend and then going home. Sunday morning, I sent her a text that basically said that I'm having a hard time with everything mentally and requested she stop calling me, telling me she misses me, and let me go, and for her to go and find someone that makes her happy. The trouble is, I still miss her a lot, and I just want to see her, but I don't think she would want to talk to me at all anymore. I don't know what to do. I am so lost. Guys, we're going to dissect this a bit before we wrap up today's show, and this is something that a lot of men go through all the time. It's just getting sent mixed signals and having no idea what the hell's going on with girls. Let me say this before we jump in. If a girl is sending you mixed signals and all of this crap, there is no need to stay around and try and fix anything, try and solve anything, try and convince her of anything. Gentlemen, we are not here to do convincing. We have better things to do than convincing. I don't care if you like fishing. I don't care if you like cooking. Trains, cars, motor vehicles. It doesn't bother me, man. It's just anything is better than trying to convince someone to stick around with you. Really. But guys, we're going to kind of jump through, dissect this, and then wrap up today's video. So, let's go through it. About a week after she called me to tell me she misses me, I told her I also missed her and asked if I could see her. Error number 1, you don't ask if you can see people. Okay, we're not asking for permission to do these sorts of things. It just makes it... Guys, please don't ask for permission to do stuff. And I don't mean that as go out and be a nuisance to society. That's not what I mean at all, okay? Just act in the way that you feel is right. And if she has grievances with that, then that's fine. Okay? But we're not out here asking oh, where do you want to go for dinner, babe? What are your thoughts on this? Or what do you think I should do about this? No. You lead, you make the decisions. If she has a problem with it, then that's kind of her issue, to be honest. Okay? So issue number 1 is asking. Guys, we don't ask if we can see people, if we can date people, none of that. No asking if she will be your girlfriend, none of that, okay? I went over to her house, blah, blah, blah. She made a disrespectful comment, so I got up and told her I was leaving. This is fine as long as you don't act butthurt in the moment. If you're not emotional about it, just say, all you have to say is, I've got to go. And if she asks you where, just say, oh, I've just got to be somewhere in the morning, and don't provide any more information, okay? You don't have to... The trick here is not to get mad at anything girls say. There's no point getting mad. There really isn't. She calls me again to say that she misses me. Again, you shouldn't have picked up. It's like... The whole general theme of this, guys, is what you'll notice is what we talked about earlier in the video, where it all just depends on validation. If she feels as though she has the power in the relationship, she's going to treat you like crap. If she feels like she has no power in the relationship, oftentimes she's going to be sucking up to you, asking if she can come over. Guys, we're going to leave today's video there. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below, your personal experiences and stuff like that. It's always great to see what you guys have to say. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so in the comments. That is what they are there for. But as always, before we wrap up, make sure you join over on Locals, guys. It's totally free to come and join, and the link for that will be in the description. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves. And I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.